Hi, in this video I'm gonna give you some brief information about qualitative research. There are 5 main qualitative approaches for inquiry. First one is narrative research, and second one is phenomenological research, third one grounded theory research, and fourth one ethnographic research, and the last one is case study research. Of course, there are a lot of inquiry different from these ones, but these are common ones, major ones. And in this video we're gonna discuss something about narrative research. Okay, let me give you some definition from different sources about narrative inquiry. Narrative inquiry is a qualitative research design where written documents and conversations are interpreted about an event or a course of events that are chronologically related. The main point here is chronologic. It's important. Another definition from Crosswell: narrative research has many forms, uses a variety of analytic practices, and is rooted in different social and humanities disciplines. Narrative might be a phenomenon being studied, such as narrative of illness, or it might be the method used in a study, such as the procedures of analyzing stories told. And there are another book from Crosswell, different book, and similar explanation. The term narrative comes from the verb to narrate, to tell in details as a story. In a narrative research design, researchers describe the lives of individuals, collect and tell stories about people's lives, and write narratives of individual experiences, and similar explanations. Another definition from another different book, I don't know how can I pronounce this name, Czarniawska, said that narrative inquiry, design as written documents and conversations interpreted about an event or a course of events that are chronologically related, and same explanation that in the first one. And it continues, narrative inquiry is based on sharing experiences about an event or a chain of events with another or others through any channel of communication. Let me look up some features about narrative studies. These are definitions, and there are main features about narrative inquiry. Narrative researchers collect stories from individuals about individuals' life and told experiences. Another feature is narrative stories tell of individual experiences, and they may shed light on the identities of individuals and how they see themselves. Another feature is narrative stories are gathered through many different forms of data, such as through interviews, observations, documents, pictures, so on. And narrative stories often are heard and shaped by the researcher into a chronology, although they may not be told that way by the participants. When you collect the data from the participants, they don't have to give you some information based on the timeline in her or his background. Researchers should put it in a timeline, in order. So chronology is important in this situation. And another feature is narrative stories often contain turning points or specific tensions or interruptions that are highlighted by the researchers in the telling of the stories. Narrative stories are analyzed in various ways, as analyses can be made about the what's said, thematically, structural, or the performance-based it can be. And narrative stories occur within specific places or situations. And there are some features. Let me give you some main types of narratives. There are lots of narrative research forms. These are some examples: biographies, autobiographies, life writing, personal accounts, personal narratives, narrative interviews, personal documents, documents of life, life stories and life histories, oral histories, ethno-histories, ethnobiographies, autoethnographies, so on. And two of them, explanation is biographical study is a form of narrative study in which the researcher writes and records the experiences of another person's life. And autobiography, another example, autobiography is written and recorded by the individuals who are the subject of the study. We don't need to explain the other ones. Like every study and narrative inquiry, there are some procedures, conducting procedures, but of course this is a qualitative study, a kind of qualitative study. There is no strict rules, but some authors gave some recommendation related to procedures, Clendenin and Connolly, and Reisman expand the procedures recommendations. These are some main narrative research procedures, conducting research procedures, and important points. Determine, and one of them is, first one, that determine if the research problem or question best fits narrative research. And second one, as a researcher, select one or more individuals who have stories of life experiences to tell and spend considerable time with them, gathering their stories through multiple types of information. Time is really important in this at this point. Consider how the collection of the data and their recording can take different shapes. Collect information about the context of the stories. Analyze the participant stories. The researcher may take an active role and restory the stories into a framework that makes sense. Restoring is an important term in this context, because this is one of the main role of the researcher in this narrative inquiry and narrative research. Collaborate with participants by actively involving them in the research. Collaboration is another important point. And of course, like every qualitative research design, in this kind of research, there are some challenges. Researcher needs to collect extensive information about the participants and need to have a clear understanding of the context of the individual's life. It takes a keen eye to identify in the source material and gathers the particular stories to capture the individual experiences. There are lots of challenges, but as a researchers, we should keen on the material, participants, and detail on the field. So I think that's all for now. Thanks for watching.